The Hawa Mansion stood in silence at the edge of the village, half swallowed by jungle and time. For over a century, no one had dared step inside. Locals believed it was cursed, a place where shadows whispered and even time refused to pass normally. Noor, a brave and curious paranormal investigator, had heard of the mansion from an old man in Hyderabad. He claimed that his grandfather once served in the mansion and had seen things that defied the natural laws. Noor was intrigued. She arrived at the edge of the property just before sunset. The air was thick with humidity, yet a strange chill crawled down her spine. The birds had gone silent. Even the wind refused to blow past the mansion's towering gates. Noor parked her car and stood before the rusted iron gates. They creaked open without her touching them. Her camera rolled as she whispered into her mic, "This is Hawa Mansion, once home to a royal family, now a dwelling for the damned." The garden was overtaken by twisted vines and thorny shrubs. Cracked, statues lined the path, their marble eyes eroded into hollow sockets. Noor's flashlight flickered for a second, though the batteries were fully charged. Inside the main hall, the smell of mold and burnt incense filled the air. Torn paintings of once smiling faces now looked like expressions of agony. One painting showed a man with eyes blackened out. Noor felt those hollow eyes follow her. She explored deeper. Footsteps echoed behind her, but when she turned, no one was there. The sound stopped when she stopped, continued when she moved. She recorded everything, trying to remain calm. She entered the dining hall. The long table was covered in dust, yet fresh food, hot and steaming, sat in the center. Noor froze. Her hand trembled as she raised the camera. Who placed this here? A sudden scream pierced the air, distant but human. Noor followed it into the corridor, her breath shallow. The hall stretched unnaturally long. Portraits on the walls seemed to whisper as she passed by. She reached a locked door. Just as she touched the knob, it flung open violently. Behind it was a library filled with books in Arabic, Farsi, and something she couldn't recognize. The air inside felt alive. One book sat alone on a pedestal. Its leather cover bore a symbol she had seen only in Jinn folklore, a hand with 7 eyes. She touched it, and the room darkened instantly. From the shadows emerged a whisper, deep and ancient. "You shouldn't have come, child of fire." Noor's pendant glowed faintly. She clutched it tightly, stepping back. Suddenly, the fireplace roared to life. Inside the flames, a face appeared, a woman with burned skin and white eyes. She screamed without sound. Noor backed into a bookshelf, which swung open like a secret door. Behind it was a narrow staircase, spiraling down into darkness. Noor hesitated, then descended. Her camera caught strange symbols etched into the walls, glowing faintly in red. The stairs led to an underground prayer room. Torn rugs lay beneath broken chandeliers. In the corner sat a man, facing the wall, rocking slowly. Noor called out, "Sir?" The man turned. His face was a blur, features shifting like smoke. He stood without moving his legs and whispered, "They're watching," then vanished into thin air. Shaken, Noor turned to leave but found the staircase gone, just a solid wall. She banged on it, but no sound came from her fists. Her voice echoed strangely, delayed by seconds. Suddenly, dozens of eyes opened on the walls. Real, blinking eyes. They cried black tears, and a deep growl echoed around her. Something was coming. Noor ran. A hidden door opened, revealing another hallway. The floor was covered in salt lines and burnt wood. An exorcism had taken place here, but clearly it had failed. She found a torn diary on a pedestal. It belonged to Zara Begum, the last known owner. The last entry read, "We summoned protection, but opened the wrong door. Now they won't leave, and neither will we." A loud thud echoed above her. The ceiling cracked. Dust rained down. Noor dashed up the hallway, her camera shaking in her hands. A voice chanted in reverse behind her. She reached a room with blackened walls. Symbols of protection drawn in blood were scratched out. Chains hung from the ceiling, and in the center sat a young boy, crying. Noor approached him slowly. "Are you okay?" she asked. The boy looked up. His eyes were pitch black, mouth unnaturally wide. He screamed, and the room exploded in blinding light. When her vision cleared, she wasn't in the room anymore. She was outside, in the garden, but it looked different, healthier. Flowers bloomed, birds chirped, the mansion looked new. She realized she was in the past. People in royal clothes passed her without noticing. A man yelled, "We must not anger it again." Another replied, "It asked for our firstborn, not again." She followed them into the mansion. A ritual was taking place. A child was being sacrificed in front of a tall shadow, inhuman, with horns and smoky skin. A jinn.
Suddenly, it looked directly at Noor. Though she was a ghost in the past, the creature saw her. It smiled. "Your blood carries her defiance," it said. Then everything turned black. Noor awoke in a different room, now tied to a chair. A circle of salt surrounded her. A group of transparent figures, ghosts, chanted around her. They were trapped souls. One ghost, a woman with half a face, leaned in. "He's inside you now," she whispered. "The jinn that destroyed us has found your bloodline." The air grew colder. Noor's voice cracked. "Why me?" The woman replied, "You're her descendant, Zara's. The jinn made a pact with her bloodline. You're the last." The circle of salt began to burn. Noor screamed as an invisible force tore through her chest. She felt her soul being clawed at, pulled between this world and something beneath it. Suddenly, a loud recitation echoed in the room. Verses from the Quran. The spirits vanished in a blink. Noor's pendant glowed blindingly, and the room fell into silence. She found herself freed. The ropes disintegrated into ash, but her body felt different, heavier. Something had entered her. She stood up, gasping for air. Her reflection in a cracked mirror showed a second face behind hers, a smoky outline of the same jinn she saw during the sacrifice. Its smile widened. Noor ran out of the room, finding a stairwell leading back to the main floor. The mansion shifted as she moved. Doors appeared and disappeared. Paintings bled. Floors screamed beneath her steps. In the main hall, she saw Zara Begum's ghost floating mid-air. "You must end it," she cried, "or our souls will rot in this place forever." Noor shouted, "Tell me how." Zara raised her hand and pointed to the Quran Noor carried in her bag. "Speak his name," she said. "Not with your tongue, but with your heart." Suddenly the walls shattered, revealing a hidden chamber. Inside was an ancient throne made of bone and metal. The jinn sat there now, fully formed, eyes glowing, his voice thunderous. "You are mine now," he growled. "Her blood is your curse, and your soul is my reward." Noor fell to her knees, clutching the Quran. She began to recite verses softly, trembling. The jinn laughed. "Words mean nothing without faith," it mocked. The mansion shook violently. Noor closed her eyes, focused her mind, and began praying not just with her voice, but from deep within her soul. Her grandmother's teachings, her belief, her fear, all channeled into that moment. Light exploded from her chest. The jinn screamed, shrinking, writhing. The throne cracked. Shadows poured from the walls, reaching toward it, pulling it back, into the earth. Ghosts cried out, not in fear, but relief. One by one, they dissolved into light and vanished. The mansion began collapsing. Noor ran, the walls caving in behind her. The front doors burst open, and she dove out just as the entire mansion imploded into the ground like a sinking nightmare. Silence. The sun began to rise. Where the mansion once stood was now just scorched earth and ash. Noor lay in the grass, panting, clutching her camera and Quran. She got up slowly, still shaken. Her pendant had turned black. The jinn was gone, but something felt unfinished. Back in her apartment, Noor reviewed the footage. Most of it was static. But in one clip, the jinn's face flashed for a split second. Staring into the lens, she uploaded a video titled, "The Truth About Hawa Mansion, Real Possession Caught on Camera." It went viral overnight. Millions watched. Some claimed they heard whispers through the video. 3 days later, she began having nightmares of fire, smoke, and blood. She would wake up with her Quran on the floor and salt circles disturbed around her bed. One night, she heard a whisper behind her. "The blood debt isn't paid yet." She turned around. No one was there. She visited an elder in a remote village, a man known for breaking curses. He examined her and said, "The jinn left a seed inside you. It will grow unless you return to where it began." Noor returned to the ruins. Now only burned earth remained. She dug deep beneath the soil and found a small beating heart, still warm. It pulsed with evil. With trembling hands, she buried it in a circle of salt and recited the final exorcism. The wind howled. The sky darkened. Something screamed far beneath the ground. Then, silence. The heart stopped. Noor collapsed. She dreamt of Zara smiling, her ghost finally free, whispering, "Thank you, my child." Noor awoke to clear skies. The curse had been broken, for now. But at night, she still hears faint whispers, especially when she edits the footage. Shadows flicker across her walls, just out of sight. She still wears the blackened pendant. Her Quran never leaves her side, and she sleeps with her lights on. They say some places are cursed, others are gateways. Hawa Mansion was both. Noor's video remains online. Viewers report strange dreams and unexplained events after watching it. And if you ever hear a whisper when you're alone in the dark, it might not be the wind. It might be him, waiting for the next one who carries her blood.